Hi, welcome back to Update. Before the break, we were getting some information about the EMS services in the city of Kawartha Lakes from Keith Kirkpatrick. And Keith has been kind enough to bring along Actar, the
Looks like you're off the hook today, Rick.
I'm happy to see Actar on the table and not me, and a PAD system, a public access defibrillator.
Yes.
And thanks very much for doing this. It's interesting that these are now available in certain areas. Tell us about where they're located and exactly what they do.
Okay. Well, in our PAD program, we have both city buildings and we have also what I call private clients, which are private businesses that want to put up defibrillators. Mm-hmm. We always recommend that they put this box on the wall, because then the defibrillator is in a place where everybody knows where it is, and nobody's searching for it in a crisis.
Right.
One of the things that we've made sure too is we're using the heart with the lightning bolt through it, which is the symbol of an automated external defibrillator.
Okay.
An automated external defibrillator simply means it's a machine that will interpret the patient's heart rhythm and decide whether the person needs a shock or not. So the user isn't doing it. The user's just kind of following the actions of what we call the doctor in the box. This machine kind of tells you what to do.
Okay.
This machine is silenced right now because we're in the studio, but if you open this in one of our community buildings, it would scream for the next 30 seconds. And that's to alert staff in the building that there's an emergency. We want the public to use these. These are not meant just for staff, but obviously we train our staff in how to use this too.
Okay.
The defibrillators in the city of Kawartha Lakes, we try to wire all of ours so that when you pull this off the wall, there's an automatic call going to emergency medical services. Actually, emergency
does the 911
yeah,
for
so
you.
it's fire, police, and ambulance.
Okay.
But we can't guarantee that in every building, because some buildings aren't all wired for electronic monitoring.
Okay.
And plus, it is a bit of a barrier for some of the private clients to do this. So then in those cases, we make sure somebody's going to call 911.
Okay.
But if you went to all of our hockey rinks in Kawartha Lakes, because we can't babysit them 24/7, when you pull this off the wall, it's making an automatic call for help.
Okay.
So, and that's essential.
But the big message is make sure you call 911 physically to make sure that.
And we always, and you'll notice on the case that it reminds people, call 911. We want to know what's going on still.
Sure.
So the defibrillator is set up like this. You have to unzip this, and you can open up the case, and there's the defibrillator.
Okay.
Simply, here's what happens. If somebody has collapsed, hey, can you wake up? Can you wake up? They're not waking up. They look blue. So I would say, Rick, can you go call 911? So if somebody's gone for help, all I have to do now is take this little tab that says pull, pull it up like this. The machine turns on.
Begin by removing all clothing from the patient's chest. Cut clothing if needed.
So the machine interacts, and what we really tell people is listen to the machine. So the machine is asking us to bare the person's chest. We have to bare the chest. We have to get the electrodes
patient's chest
on the
is
skin.
bare,
Okay.
remove protective cover and take out white adhesive pads.
So we're going to remove the
Look
cover.
carefully at the pictures on the white adhesive pads.
We're going to pull up the pads.
Peel one pad from the yellow plastic liner.
And you'll notice on the pad, it tells you where to place it.
Right.
So and the machine has prompted us to peel the
Look
pad off.
carefully at the pictures on the white adhesive pads.
And we're going to place the
pad
pad.
exactly as shown in the picture.
We want to make sure the
Firmly
wires
to patient's bare
don't
skin.
go underneath the pad.
Okay.
And if you have a look at the pad, this is the second one.
Yes.
It's showing where to
When
place
the
it.
first pad is in place, look carefully at the picture.
pad has
on
a
the
sticky
second
gel
pad.
to it.
Peel the second
And it's kind of
pad
got some
from
metal
the
embedded
yellow
in it.
plastic
Okay.
liner. Place
So just
pad
better for
exactly as
conductivity?
shown
Right.
in the picture. Press firm. No one should touch
So
the
now
patient.
I don't want to touch the person.
Analyzing.
So the machine is now taking a bunch of pictures of the person's heart.
Right.
No one
In
should
reality,
touch
that
the
when
patient.
person first collapses, their heart will
Analyzing.
be quivering.
Yes.
So what we want to do is
Shock
stop that
advised.
quivering.
Stay clear of patient.
The machine
Press
will
the
not
flashing
shock
orange
until I
button
push the
now.
shock button. So it's very safe. It's not going to do
Deliver
something it shouldn't.
shock
So the first thing
now.
I would say is everybody
Press
put their
the
hands up.
flashing orange
It's like at the
button
hold up
now.
position. Everybody's clear. I'm clear. You're clear.
Deliver shock. Shock delivered.
So now the shock stops that craziness in the heart. And now the
Be
heart's
sure
sitting there
emergency
not doing
medical
anything. It's
services
just
have been called.
kind of in an
It is
indecision
safe to touch the patient.
state.
Begin CPR.
So now-
For help with CPR, press the flashing blue button.
So now we have to do CPR. So I'm going to push this blue button.
Place
Tells you what
the
to do.
heel of
Yeah, it
one
tells me what to
hand
do.
in the center of the chest,
Right.
between the nipples. Place your other hand on top of the first.
Right.
Push the chest down firmly 2 inches. Keep time
So we would
with
push.
the beat.
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And we would keep doing that until the person is revived. How would we know they revived? They'd start moving and moaning.
Right.
And then we would stop.
Right.
As soon as we stop,
Pinch nose,
we
tilt head,
wouldn't need to
and give
do any more
2
CPR.
full breaths.
And
Breathe.
we'd just let the machine keep talking. Because if the person goes back into that crazy heart
Breathe.
rhythm, the machine will pick
Continue
it up.
with compressions.
Okay.
If they still require CPR, you're going to do the CPR.
And it's going to tell you what to do.
And at 2 minutes, it'll reanalyze the heart if it needs another shock. In reality, most public access defib saves, people only need to do CPR for about 30 seconds to a minute. And then the person will start to moan and push their hands away.
Okay.
Pinch nose, tilt head,
I'm going to just
and
shut this
give
off.
2.
So that's how simple it is to do.
So what we talked about earlier as well, Keith, just so that people can kind of get a better understanding of what the defibrillator does. It's kind of like rebooting a computer, turning the computer
Yes.
off, letting the heart reset itself, and then decide what it wants to do to
Right.
restart.
And that's the kind of thing that I think most people have that misconception is that the heart is being started by the defibrillator and when in fact it's being stopped.
Okay.
So that the heart's own pacemaker will take over. And the reason we do CPR in between is to ensure blood flow to the brain while the heart's deciding what it wants to do.
Okay.
I also want to point out that all of our defibrillators have this with it.
Yes.
So there's a mask here if you feel comfortable to do
Yes,
mouth to
okay.
mouth. Although we would say you don't have to do mouth to mouth, just keep compressing on the chest till the
Okay.
person's revived.
Okay.
There's also some gloves and a towel and scissors for cutting the clothes
Fantastic.
off.
Yep.
And there's some more towelettes in here for drying up if the person's sweaty or if they were playing hockey or something like
Yes.
that. And there's some razors there for hairy guys. In reality, I always say that if it's a hairy chest, you just put the pads on and hold it. And the glue will adhere, right? And we cover those kind of things in training, and that's why training is important with these machines.
Right.
You don't need a lot of training, but you need a little bit of training just to kind of give yourself that sense that you could do this. On the other side of the coin, if you're in a public building anywhere in the province of Ontario and you use one of these machines, as a good Samaritan, you cannot be sued.